Hey everyone, hey, thanks for clicking on this video. If you're clicking on this, you're probably a parent of one of our students. And I want to just take time. It is the end of August, which means that, as you know, the transition of me becoming the next lead pastor is changing. Yes. You also are aware of that we've been looking for a new high school pastor. And so for the last 7 months, we've been networking, we've been going through interviews with candidates. We even hired a search group to put together a number of candidates that might become the next high school pastor.
Yeah, not lead pastor.
Not lead pastor, high school pastor. And with that in mind, we want to give you an update as now the school year is closer than ever before. And so here's the update. Today is not one of those joyful days where I'm going to announce a brand new high school pastor. Unfortunately, over the last few months, after really spending hours and hours with different candidates, networking, we've made a decision that God is leading us not to hire any of those candidates, and that we're going to be heading into this school year going a little different route. And so a few things, I'll talk about that new right here in a second, but a few things that you need to know. I hope that you sense that when I say that, there's not too much fear, but I hope you feel that there's this sense of, as leaders, we're really trying to care for you and your kids. We felt like that no candidate really fit the mold that we were looking for that would be the right person to shepherd you. We're being picky because we love your kids. And so I hope you feel that sense of love. It's not the answer we were looking for, but it's the answer that we do have and that we're feeling like God is leading. Now, with all that in mind, you're probably asking yourself, well, then what's the plan? And the plan moving forward is this, is that we are blessed, one, with an amazing volunteer team, but even more importantly, Scott Totten, we've asked to become kind of the head shepherd of all student ministries for the next foreseeable future, for the next seasons. And so what's going to happen is that Scott is going to lead both junior high and high school ministry. He's going to step into the role of high school minister in a unique way that I'll let him explain here in just a second. But I want to let you know that as Scott steps into that role, be aware of this. The search for a new high school pastor will continue. Over the next few months, we're already working with our search group to find that new guy. And as we go through that, would you be praying for us around that topic? And so more information to come with that. But more importantly, let me throw it to Scott. He's going to explain to you kind of what will this school year look for both high school and a little bit of junior high.
Right. So let me touch on the middle school real quick. And for the most part, that's not going to look any different. I'm still there every week. We're still playing the games. We're still breaking into our small groups. Our small group leaders are going to be loving on the kids. So middle school ministry isn't going to look really any different. And then for those that have been in high school, to be honest, that's not going to look too much different. It's just going to be minus Brandon. And so we'll still keep the same rhythm of two weeks of big group and 2 weeks of small group, and doing an alternating just like we have been. So those of you that are coming in as freshmen, or if you have a freshman student, we do 1 week of big group, the next week is a small group, big group, small group, and we just keep that rotation going. And so what we'll do is on one of the big group nights, I'll be teaching. The other big group night will be one of our volunteers or a guest speaker, and then in our small group times, I'll be there every week, and we'll give the kind of the synopsis, and then we'll send the kids off into their small groups, where again the great leaders that we have will be pouring into the students. So that part really doesn't look much different. And so they're still going to be cared for. They're still going to be loved on. They're going to be still being pointed to Jesus. And those are some things that will never change.
Yeah, that's right. A few things that I think are good to include there is to remember this, is that as we move forward, we've considered this scenario for months now, just in case. And I would say this, we have had so much confidence in our volunteer team with our high school students. And without that, I don't think we could move into this fall with so much confidence, or with asking Scott to take on more work like he will be. As we've sat down, we really feel like this is doable as we wait for whoever God is sending to kind of go back to how things did look, but just with a different face at the front. So as we move forward, families, know this. Here's one great thing. You know who Scott is. You know what a great shepherd he is. He really is. It's hard for me to compliment him in front of the camera, but he is. He's amazing. Your students love him. And I think that's something that is comfortable for our students, our high school students moving forward. Our volunteer team is amazing. And so as things come up, he's the guy you're going to look for. I am going to detach. off of most student ministry things come September. And so be in prayer for us on a number of things before we end this video. One would be this: pray for Scott and his team. It is different, and it is a challenge. It's new, but we're believing God has given Scott the giftings and talents and his volunteers all that they need to lead your students well. Second of all, pray for our search process again, as you have been, that God is sending, and we're just waiting upon God to send the right person for this job. With all that in mind, parents, lastly, I would say this: champion this change to your kids. I know there's a lot of questions. I know this is not the number one thing that we wanted to see happen, but I would say this: we don't show up for a certain personality or a certain person. We show up for Jesus. And I know, if I know Scott and I know our volunteers, they're going to champion Jesus. Speak that to your students. Students, if you're watching, don't come because of a personality. Come because of Jesus and because you want to grow in your faith. That's going to happen no matter what. Families, thank you so much for taking time to watch this. If you have any questions, anything at all, just come talk with us. Anything you need, we're here for you. In this transition, change is hard. Just make sure you talk about your needs in this time of transition. So with all that said, thank you for watching. We hope you have a great rest of the day, and we'll see you this fall in September. Bless you. Bye.
God bless.